video so you can see a visual of the suspect right here. And we'll do some introductions right now, and then we're going to dive into the presentation. My name is Brian Buckley. I am the Director of Channel and Business Development for Channel and Carrier with InHand Networks. I'm also joined by Tom Grishis, the VP of Strategic Accounts. Tom, you willing to say hello?
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Good deal, and hopefully thanks for coming, but most of all, not thanks for leaving, right? So many of you know that Tom and I are guilty by association, and we'll be co-presenting here and there through this. So hopefully it'll become very, very educational and hopefully limited on the entertainment, but it may be there as well. So right now I challenge you, I double dog dare you to turn off your phones, silence everything, put things on notifications on mute and silence right now so you can concentrate on here for the next few minutes. So I'm going to stop video right now, and we're going to dive right into the presentation here. So. All right, as mentioned right there, there's the visuals of the suspects. I'm Brian, and there's Tom right in here. And so let's talk about what we're going to go through today. So let's talk about the challenges right now that you may be facing if you are dealing with any type of work from home solutions. So number one is this: little to no IT department or experience. Now, this is a very viable concern, especially if you're a small company. You may have a small IT team with limited knowledge and or time, or you are the IT department and you thought IT was pronounced it, and you are it in that department. You need a simple solution because of this challenge for you. That's number one. Number two, well, it's having a reliable connectivity and dedicated secure internet connection. I mean, there's nothing worse than having unreliable connections, and it always happens in the worst and of course the most critical moments, or right when you think you need to save that document, or your videos froze right when you're asked to ask a question, or you need to present. I mean, you need a solution that's just going to work, and you don't have to physically go and reboot something. You just want all that magic to just happen in the background, and you wouldn't even know. So the third of the challenges, well, it's not having any control of your data usage. And this one can get expensive quick and cause some real challenges for you. So is your employee using the internet for business-related endeavors, which could be a real problem with a Wi-Fi solution? Or are they running up the bill streaming Netflix? And what about malware? I mean, that opens up issues in your secure network, which also introduce who knows what behind that firewall. You need a solution that takes care of all of these issues, maybe with a silent kill switch to monitor all the threshold. And lastly, is adding failover to primary connection. I mean, what if the Wi-Fi does goes down? Then what? I mean, are you on an unlimited break until it comes back up? And often no internet means no work. So you need to have an added seamless failover to cellular to keep you up and running to continue your work. So those are the challenges, and I'm not sure which one you are experiencing right now. Is it number one, little to no IT department? Or are you dealing with reliable connectivity issues? Are you feeling the pain of no control of your data usages and you're just scared to death of that bill? Or are you struggling with needing to add failure to your primary connection? We're going to address all four of these walking through this presentation. We mentioned the three questions. The second question is this that we want to address. Well, who is InHand Networks anyway? Well, one of the most common questions I receive if I'm going into a business office or that of a carrier or talking to a customer or a potential reseller is, who is InHand? I've never heard of your company. Well, why is this question really important? Well, you need to know the product you're considering to implement it. Well, it's trustworthy and you can solve any of these problems or challenges that we just discussed. So briefly, InHand can be described with one number and three words. The number is this: 3. InHand Networks is the third largest industrial cellular router company in the world by volume. Did you catch that? InHand Networks is the third largest industrial cellular router company in the world by volume. And remember this, just because you've never heard of a company, it doesn't mean they're not a player in the industry. And as you can tell right there, according to the Global Cellular IoT Gateway Market Berg Insights, the third largest, and watch out number 2 and number 1, because we're coming after you here. So that is it. That is the number. One number is the third largest in the world by volume. But there's also 3 words that kind of describe who we are as a company, which is full, high, and low. Let's unpack those 3 words. Full means fully industrial. We don't have a light industrial, AKA plastic or partial industrial line, then fully industrial. Everything we make is fully industrial. We'll break down what that means later on. High stands for highly reliable. Well, what's the proof of that? Well, the third largest industrial cellular company in the world by volume. There's the proof right there with an under 1% failure rate. So to have something that's fully industrial, that's great, but we need to make sure it works. In this case, it's highly reliable. But here's the outlier, lower cost. And when you compare us apples to apples, or I could say cat to cat, meaning cat 1 or cat 3 or cat 6, we'll be the lower price yet still fully reliable option with cellular routers. So those are big. Those are really, really important. The third largest, but also fully industrial, highly reliable, and lower cost. But then we're not the new kid on the block. We are not new to the game. We're a 19-year-old company, which means a global established brand with over 300 plus employees, a third of them R&D, and offices all around the world. We had our first flagship major customer, GE Healthcare, just 5 years into our existence, and they're still with us today. We run the Chinese state grid, and we're partnered with Siemens, Schneider Electric along the way, as you can see on this chart here. And we manufacture from a brand new 200,000 square foot in-hand warehouse. Note that, in-hand warehouse. And have over 3 million plus devices deployed worldwide, hence being the third largest in the world by volume. But also too, we have a wide range of products, as you can see, from functionality to also category. And we have a new in-vehicle gateway. We have an edge gateway along with a serial to cellular modem, as you can tell down there at the bottom. But for the focus of this specific webinar, we're going to lean in on the 600 series. And this shows right here. I like this slide because it shows the verticals that we are represented in, but ironically, they're horizontal. And they are where we have the most experience and key customers in, but we're not limited to just these 5. So you look at commercial and retail, smart grid, industrial automation, healthcare, mobility, and city. And all of those customers have endorsed us, which shows the quality of our products. We're proud of those names, and they're proud of us with the branding that they have with us. And the third and final question we're going to address right here is, well, how can we help? And as you can tell by this slide right here, InHand Networks can help right up front, providing a fully industrial, highly reliable, lower cost option, as you can see with solutions, starting right there from $199. I know what you're thinking, drop the router, we're out. It's no big deal. Well, yeah, it's no big deal because it's an industrial cellular router. But nonetheless, right here, that's an amazing price for this, for Cat 3 and Cat 6. And for those of you who don't know, or a quick reminder, InHand Networks has 2 primary families of products. As we've shown in that slide earlier right there, that little middle section was a 600 series. Think about low industrial, lower work, which means more plug and play, and we'll unpack that, and being lower cost. The 900 series for us is high industrial, higher work, meaning more programming, but also a higher cost. And the range of features that we're dealing with right in here are vast. And for this webinar, and the problem we're trying to address with work from home solutions or business continuity failover, we're focusing again on the 600 series. So here are some common features with the 600 series and all of our products here, but with 600 series, we have a 3-year warranty on all of our products. Both of these devices have a rugged design with a wide temperature range, hence being fully industrial. There's an optional Wi-Fi that can be configured both as an access point. It can connect to a network, or it can be the actual network. Both feature an open VPN and IPsec VPNs out of the box. They come included with a power supply and antennas, and both benefit from our free of charge management platform, and we'll unpack that a little bit later on in the webinar here. But that's important to know. What are the common features that you're going to experience here with the 600 series? And there are 2 products options in the 600 series. And what makes that unique, as you can see on this slide right here, that there is a number of different things in this selection guide. So a quick reminder to remember about the InHand products is the last number of the device is the number of Ethernet ports. 611, last number is 1, which means 1 Ethernet port. 615, 5 is the last number, which means 5 Ethernet ports. But how do you know which one to use for your solution? Well, let's talk about the 611 specifically just for a moment. It's what we would consider one of our no-frills products to do about any job seemingly. There's a single Ethernet port there. There's also a single serial port, which you can also specify to be RS-232 or also RS-485. This RR611 includes an optional wall mount feature that's part of it. You have dual Wi-Fi antennas for range and dual cellular antennas for better coverage. It has a pluggable DC power supply with a wide range from 9 volts all the way up to 26 volts, as you can see right there on the chart. Also, the 615 specifically, which is the bigger brother to the IR611, it offers, remember, 5 Ethernet ports. 15, number 5 is the last one, which is 1 WAN and 4 LAN ports. It comes with an industrial terminal block on the back for both the power supply and also the 2 serial ports. Also, you can configure to RS-232 or 485. And it also has a standard DIN rail mount on the back side, which is very, very convenient. And this selection guide is kind of head-to-head between these different devices. So let's move a little bit more into the specifics of these devices right here. This one right here, and for the focus again of this webinar, we're going to focus and look specifically at Cat 6 and Cat 3. This box right here, if you're looking at the IR615, the one we had mentioned, which is a great box for business continuity and anybody that needs to do failover, is Cat 6 right here. And the terminal block also has the ability, or DB9 serial port, as you can see on there. It also offers the kind of the free cloud management via InHand Cloud Device Manager. Very, very popular box here in the Cat 6 flavor here at an unbelievable drop the router price of $269. The 611 in this case right here coming in at a Cat 6 is going to be $229. We also offer this box in Cat 1 as well. Then we look at the Cat 3 version of this box right here. Same feature set, same everything on this box, just in the Cat 3 version of this. And Cat 3 is going to be available for $229 for the IR615 Cat 3. And the IR611 is at $199 for the Cat 3 version right there. Cloud management, we talked about that earlier. And what's cool is this, a little cool feature right there is it's free. And what's great about that, you can see right there is a user-friendly web configuration that's available right there. It's you can do batch configurations, you can use central networking management, and a majority of the time, what somebody needs for their device management, this is going to offer. And if it doesn't right there, we've got other options that's on there at a very, very limited price. But we're just a firm believer in selling quality products, fully industrial quality products at a very reasonable price with a great warranty of 3 years, but then also including the free device manager right there. Also, plug and play hardware. It's one of those things where we look at one of the most important concerns for work from home internet. Well, it's going to be the setup process. And the IR611 and 615, well, they're designed to be kind of that plug and play cases where, well, there's little to effort of IT workforce is really required to set it up. And we kind of listed out from our technical team of the simple steps to, well, how does it work? What do you do to set it up? Well, number one, you insert in and insert the SIM card. You plug in the antennas. You power on the device. You connect the LAN port to the internet. And then you got 2 optional steps. You can change the APN if it's a specific APN SIM card that's being used. And the other option is you can enable Wi-Fi and configure the Wi-Fi SSID and password if Wi-Fi is required. It's as simple as that. And we really, really brag on that with the 600 series, is that it is low work, meaning true plug and play, but it's also going to be lower in cost right there. We also got to brag on this being fast and reliable connection. It is really, really important to make sure we know what's inside that's going to make sure this box is going to have that fast and reliable connection. It's going to support up to this Cat 6 LTE, but in most IoT applications, reliability connections are really the most important thing, even sometimes even more than speed. It can be as fast as all get out, but if it is not reliable, it is not what's needed to solve the application. And the software has multiple levels of this link failure detection and recovery, ranging from maybe simple pinging of a known server address to VRRP backup, which can be used in conjunction with a Cisco router to provide that redundant backup link that's required. And we also have a physical hardware watchdog, which will reboot the units if the software hangs out there for any reason at all. If you have any questions on our fast and reliable connection and on this slide right here, please make sure that you put them in the Q&A or any other additional slides that we have so we can address them in just a few moments. Also, too, this is critical. We hear all the time from carriers, whether it's dealing with work from home right now, or it is business failover, or just simply business continuity, the importance of making sure that there is failover that's needed. And that's going to be in our box, the IR615 right there. And this specific application, it's really, really important because comes fully equipped, and you can see by the diagram and the flow how the process works right in here. It's in IP pass-through, or it can work also in bridge mode right there. VPN and data security. This is something that really we as InHand Networks, we pride ourselves on our data security and our firewall security, and we have a complete package of protections. And in these days right now, we know the hackers are out there. They're targeting industrial applications as well as the commercial ones. So it's really important that we're going to deploy communications and these products which support the highest levels of security. We're asked that often when we're dealing with a solution architect or a solution engineer, somebody out there that's technical, where are our levels of security? And both the entry level of the IR611 and also the IR615, they're going to support a wide range of these industrial standard security measures. It's going to include OpenVPN, IPsec, VPN clients that are going to enable you to set up secure tunnels using normal internet SIMS rather than the expensive M2M ones. In addition, we're going to support the L2TP and the PTP-TP, although we don't recommend these for other than, well, you're just connections to legacy networks. And the 600 series, which we're focusing on right now, has a great firewall as far as the credentials. They're going to support the stateful packet inspection, packet filtering, and access control lists, which would be very familiar to anyone with a Cisco security background. And lastly, access-wise, we're going to support the SSH connection to the command line, as well as SSL access to the web UI. It's ensuring that if you remotely connect to these units for management purposes, that your traffic is going to come through encrypted.
Well, Brian, one thing I might add on that slide, just real quickly.
Sure.
This is Tom. This slide here and these feature sets here for you resellers out there or potential company owners who are looking to remote manage your remote workers. This is what really sets our device apart from Wi-Fi's. The manageability, obviously, that's one that he's going to talk about next. But this whole VPN and data security is a next level step from any Wi-Fi opportunity that would be out in the field.
Perfect. Thanks for adding that, Tom. And if you guys have any additional questions, especially on the technical side, the security side, please chime in on the Q&A, and we'll make sure in just a few minutes here that we can address those questions. But obviously, the moral of the story here is just our focus as a company here to make sure that our products, especially the 600 series that we're looking at for work from home or business failover and continuity, are very, very, very secure. Data usage management. I mean, this is critical. Making sure that we can manage these devices. I mean, the cellular data is not free, even though our kids may think that's the case. So data usage management is absolutely critical to make sure that the customer is saving costs and they could budget exactly what that amount's going to be. And when the threshold is actually configured properly and any threshold becomes triggered, the router itself will only have the internet connection for the cloud management. And as a result, the IT team they can check if the users abuse the cellular network. And we can do device management, which means the home office through the cloud can manage the device usage at the device level as well, making it both centralized or by the device itself. It can also be alerted using an email or text messaging there. So to kind of go full circle here on where we started with all of our content, we're trying to look at challenges, and some of the issues with the challenges that we had mentioned early on is that you're dealing with a little to no IT department or experience. So having a plug and play device is really, really critical. And as we talked about, it's very, very simple to set up the device. And that is absolutely very, very important. We could have used my daughter as an example. It's easy to set up, easy as a fifth grader to set up an InHand router on this situation, but that's critical. Obviously, from these challenges, if you're selling to as a customer or as a carrier, selling to somebody that has little to no IT department. Well, and next we talked about having reliable connections, dedicated secure internet connection, and making sure that we can answer that question, which we do. Having easy management of the device, whether it is from our cloud management or whether it is monitoring the data usage, having that very easy, manageable device management that's obviously in our case even free is very, very important. And also the stability of a failover solution, as we talked about in the IR 615, having that ability to go switch back and forth if need be seamlessly is absolutely critical, along with having all the security that we absolutely need. So just a couple quick examples of this that we're using right now. One is just kind of remote office connectivity, which is kind of where our world is right now, and it may continue. And as Tom had mentioned, that's some of the failures that come into a MiFi solution with that is not having what we're having right here, where they're really leveraging going from their VoIP phone or a printer or their laptop. That they're going strictly through the IR 615 in this example, then through the VPN and having access to the device manager here that's automatic. It's very, very secure, and it comes pre-configured out of the box, along with leveraging the device management software that's available as well. So that's a great example right now of kind of the world we're living in right now, but also to the ability if somebody's wanting to use this as more of a long-term solution. You think about that number of people that are coming from home. They may decide right now, why don't you stay home on Mondays and Fridays and just work 3 days a week? Or you know what, let's keep you at home and let's give you the necessary resources you need beyond the MiFi. And right now, this would be an opportunity for us to solve this problem. Here's an example of a school district right now needing to make sure their school networks that are online for this online teaching. My wife is a school teacher. She's feeling the pain of this right now and making sure that they're able to adapt, whether it's the school teachers such as my wife or the students that are out there right now, and any of the changes that need to happen right here. Again, the application goes through as well through whether they're, the child's working from a Chromebook at home or a laptop, a tablet going through one of our routers through the internet and being able to leverage it through the school and having the ability to manage that through our device manager. Those are two specific to this webinar right now. Here's another example, just if you're just looking at, from a repair store, the Bosch, and using that as a POS controller. Now, if you notice right here, they're leveraging the IR 611, the single Ethernet port box right in here. They're not looking to do failover here, but they are leveraging our solution here to be able to do a POS controller solution right here. People counting system. You think about H&M. As people are coming in and as we're watching, using a counter camera that's coming in, guess what? They're leveraging the IR 615 in this case to be able to gain the intel and the knowledge that they're wanting. So hopefully these are some examples that are showing to you exactly the power and the application of what we could use within our devices. There are more applications that we use. I mean, we're just touching the surface here of what we could use. Digital signage is a big one. Branch networks, convenience stores, drop-off lockers, machine networking, car washes, so many different applications where they're looking for lower work, kind of that more plug-and-play application. They're looking for something that's lower industrial, but then also at a lower cost. Doesn't mean inexpensive or cheap, because obviously it's gonna be highly reliable. But these are some of the applications that we're facing right there. Well, we really want to honor your time, and hopefully content-wise, you've got a good grasp of some of the challenges that an InHand router can solve. You understand a little bit more about who we are, third largest in the world by volume, but also highly reliable, fully industrial, and lower in cost. And kind of our experience that we have, focusing on the 600 network, but also, family, but also having additional products in the 900 series, but also an in-vehicle gateway and this NT-DTU modem that goes serial to cellular. So hopefully that gives you a good grasp of some of the solutions that we as InHand Network can solve for you, whether you are working for the customer, whether you are the carrier, or whatever your needs are. We want to be able to be a solution leveraging who we are. So we're up to some questions right now, and I'm not have availability for seeing the Q&A. So Tom and our team, I'm going to leverage you guys right now to address any of the questions and comments right there. If you guys need to go before the Q&A, you can reach out to both Tom and myself right there using our emails, and we'd be happy to point you in the right direction. So Tom, I'll turn over to you from the Q&A side.
Hi, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining, by the way. I wanted to add one thing to Brian's very informative webinar. Thanks, Brian. In the last slide in particular, when we talked about the various applications that our products apply to, this promo, however, it's kind of geared around obviously remote working and home or school online learning. Obviously that promo pricing applies to very many different verticals. You can see down on the application slide, the one prior to this, where basically we talked about the various type of applications that were really prevalent in. I mean, we are literally in just about every single IoT application worldwide. And just to give you an idea, we have products. This 600 basically is more or less our mainstream flagship IoT type device, whether it be Cat M1 for a Wi-Fi sensor network, or whether it be a Cat 6 for some of this remote learning. These obviously Cat 6 is what this particular promo is for, but as I said before, it's not only restricted to remote working. So if you have other opportunities, or if you have other applications where you see a real nice fit for an economical price for a highly reliable product, we certainly would love to entertain how we could possibly help you out. We do have a couple questions that are asked. Some of them I've been answering privately, which is are just kind of contact informations. But one of the questions asked was on the school question. Do you have the availability? Let me see the exact question. Are schools able to enable content filtering? We currently have a few schools that are actually currently using our devices for online schooling. One of which actually has their own MDM that they put on the actually end device. We are experimenting with possibly putting the MDM on one of our devices. It's a little bit tough because there's not a lot of processing power to kind of format and be able to serve all the different applications that are available for MDM content filtering. However, we do have the ability in a limited resource, if the customer needs it, to be able to whitelist and blacklist. So if it's a small amount of websites that you're trying to blacklist and or whitelist, that is a definite possibility with the 615. So that's one of the questions that came through. Another question was, are these products applicable? And I kind of covered this. Are these products applicable through the promo for other applications and for other IoT type of scenarios? And yes, that is the case. Brian, maybe real quickly we can talk about, or I'll talk about real quickly. As Brian mentioned down below, you can see our email addresses for initial contact. Granted, I personally may not be handling the opportunity or the account itself per se, but we can certainly direct it to a number of our sales associates that are within the country. We do have 4 or 5 other sales reps that are actually covering other specific verticals as well as specific regions. So we do work very diligently to be very responsive and to get back to your needs immediately. And of course, as you may know, we have a number of resellers, and we also have the ability to supply potentially demos availability. Whether it be purchased or whether it be business case solutions, we can figure out how to make sure to get a demo inside of your customer's hands or in your potential hands.
Hey Tom, another question just came in that was asked. What about product availability? We're struggling finding products for solutions. That is one area. As we mentioned, you've got a 200,000 square foot factory that is InHand. It's ours. It's our employees, and our products. We've got massive stock. So we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of devices that are being manufactured every single week and are readily available to anybody right now. The resellers, the carriers, anybody with that. So that was a really good question as far as stocking and availability. Tom referenced resellers. That's another question that just came in, which is asking, well, if we're interested in an InHand solution, where do we go? What do we do? Reach out to us. We'd be happy to make sure that we align you with a partner that could best serve you, whether as far as what the products that they're offering beyond InHand Networks. Maybe they got an area of specialty that they're working in. Maybe they're working on a bundle. Maybe it's they stay focused in on a certain carrier. So we want to make sure that we can point them in the right direction or point you in the direction to those resellers. So that was another question that had come in. Any others, Tom, that you're seeing right now?
Yes, we are. Another question came in asking about dual SIM. So we are offering the 615 and 611 in dual SIM as they become available. This is a new feature for our device, so we are expecting those within the upcoming weeks. As we're currently working off the single SIM inventory that is available. Currently available, the most available is obviously the single SIM, but we are in the process of trying to service as many double SIM applications, and eventually will be moving to a dual SIM default on both those devices moving forward. And, as I said, when they are available here in the next few weeks. That was another question. And have some link, what have some link backup set up as? I'm a little bit unclear on this question here. It says, will that have some link backup set up as 915? Zameen, maybe you could answer that if you understand that question.
Yes, this is Zameen. I can answer this question. Actually, the link backup setup on the 600 router is much easier than on the 900 router. On the 900 router, it's designed for the high end or complicated application, so the link backup is a little bit complicated. But for 600, especially 615, it's pretty simple, just on one page. And then there's like 4 or 5 parameters. You can configure in a few minutes, then boom.
Hopefully that answered your question, Steve.
Any other questions, comments, Snyder marks? All right, going once, going twice. Well, we're obviously available past this to be able to answer any questions. You feel free to reach out to us and I'll make sure that the question gets answered. First and foremost, thanks for your time. Whether you're listening to us live right now or you are listening to the replay that will be offered, that's on demand right here. We value you, we appreciate you, know that we would love to hear from you, how best we can serve you. And we hope that this was worth your time today. And know we're excited to serve you in any way we can moving forward because we're on the same side. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you all.